Hi, everybody. Welcome to Baseball Discourse. I am Dan Lovallo. We are putting this video/podcast together on February the 6th, 8 days before the start of Major League Baseball's spring training. And social media is having a field day because they are running pictures of Yogi Berra wearing uniform number 8, and then the big highlight, 8 days until spring training. So what better time than to go back to the 2 times I interviewed number 8, Yogi Berra. First on January 1st, 1998. That's the first interview we're going to play. And then the second interview is the time I interviewed Yogi when he was the manager of the New York Mets. This was in early April 1973. Quick background. 1998, New Year's Day, I am the co-host of a morning radio show in Hartford. It's New Year's Day, and a friend of the program, Ace, who was well connected with the Yankees and knew Yogi well, got Yogi to be a guest on the show. The one proviso, Yogi had to plug a product. That's okay. He was Yogi Berra. Let him talk about anything he wanted to. The other thing is, at this point, Yogi is still estranged from the Yankees. Remember, he and George Steinbrenner have not been on speaking terms since Yogi was fired by Steinbrenner, 14 games into the 1985 Major League Baseball season. But Yogi would sneak into Yankee Stadium when Joe Torre was there and talk with Torre a lot. Remember, this was the Yankees dynasty period. The Yankees were back. Joe Torre was the manager. The Yankees were winning again. And so that's the backdrop to my interview, my first interview with Yogi Berra, followed by my second interview when I was an intern at my hometown radio station, and we were carrying New York Mets games. We were on the Mets radio network, and so we had the chance in early April to interview Yogi in 1973. Here they are, my back-to-back interviews with Yogi Berra, January 1st, 1998, and then early April of 1973. Enjoy.
Welcome back on this New Year's Day. Dan Lovallo with you. On this date in 1961, we were beginning a baseball season that would go down in the record books. And on September 20th of 1961, Roger Maris, against the Baltimore Orioles at Memorial Stadium, slugged his 59th home run of the season. Afterwards, right after Roger hit that home run, up stepped one Yogi Berra, and here's what happened.
There's a drive to deep right field. Robinson going back near the wall, and that ball is gone for a home run. Back-to-back homers by Maris and Berra.
And we are pleased to welcome to our program this morning Yogi Berra. Yogi, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Don.
Yogi, what was it like in 1961 batting in the order right behind Roger Maris?
Well, it was pretty good. They had to pitch to him, give you good balls to hit. Then they had Mickey, too,
Yeah. Yogi, of course, had 358 career home runs. He batted .285 lifetime. He's in the Hall of Fame. He has played in more World Series than any other player, 14. He has played in more World Series games than any other player, 75. And he's also had more hits in World Series than any other player, 71. Yogi, how come you were so good in the World Series?
Well, I don't know. I was lucky. I was born at the right time. And, we had great teams there from 49 to 50 to 61. Heck, I played 17 years, and I was in 14 World Series. I was lucky.
Yeah, you also were on a Yankee team that won 5 straight World Series, and they had quite a pitching staff with Whitey Ford and Eddie Lopat and Allie Reynolds. Talk about that staff for just a minute, Yogi, because you caught them.
Oh, yeah, well, we had Reynolds, Raschi, Whitey Ford. Then don't forget, you had Bob Turley in there. You had Bob Grimm. Tommy Byrne came along real good. We had quite a pretty good pitching staff. In the bullpen, you had Bob Grimm one year. You had Louis Arroyo, Ron Dern. It was pretty good. Joe Page in 47.
Yeah, you think a lot about the Yankees and their great hitters, but they also had a good pitching staff, didn't they?
Oh, very good. Not bad. Well, I credit our team, too, and we had pretty good defense, too, Don. Mm-hmm. That's one thing Casey stressed on was defense.
Yeah. Yogi, you also had a pitcher who lives in these parts by the name of Spec Shea, who still has a following.
Yeah.
Talk a bit about Spec. What kind of a pitcher was he?
Well, he was very good. In 47, he did a tremendous job for us. He won 2 games in the World Series there for us, beat the Dodgers. And then Frank came up with a sole arm a little bit, and he pitched pretty good for us, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yogi, in 1956 in the World Series, Don Larson, of course, pitched the only perfect game in World Series history. You were the catcher. What do you remember about that game?
Don, that day, he went to 3 balls to just a 1 hitter, Dan. That was the Pee Wee Reach in the first inning. Otherwise, he never got thrown 3 balls the whole game. Anything I put down, he got over. He had perfect control that day.
Sometimes when a pitcher is pitching a no-hitter, players don't talk about it in the dugout as the game goes along. What was it like in the Yankee dugout that day?
It was very quiet because you only had a 2-0 lead, if you got like 10 runs, you're probably kid about it, But when you got a 2-0 lead, guy walk, home run, tie score. That happened to us in 1947. Almost caught Bill Bevan's no-hitter.
Yeah.
We had 2 outs in the 9th inning. Cookie Lavagetto got the double, and we lost.
Bevins walked a lot of guys that day, though.
He walked about 8 guys that day.
Yeah. But getting back to the Larson perfect game, didn't Mickey Mantle make a great catch in that game?
Mickey made a good catch, and I think the shortstop made a good play, Phil, and all that. And we made some pretty good plays, but still, Don pitched a great game.
Yogi, how come the Yankees always seem to have the Dodgers' number in those World Series?
Oh, I don't know. We were probably just like, don't forget, they had a pretty good club themselves. It just happens. On a short series, you never know what's going to happen in a game. Don makes it tough. It is.
I want to go back to when you first started with the New York Yankees. You talked about Casey Stengel emphasizing defense, and even though Casey wasn't your first manager in the big leagues, you were not the best catcher in the world, but you worked hard to become one of the best defensive catchers in the game. Who helped you become such a great catcher?
Bill Dickey was the one that helped me a lot, a real lot. And, 1949, when he got me in spring training, he worked my butt off, Don, and I appreciate it. I learned everything from him. He made me a good catcher because he used to keep me after workouts, the work on stuff and everything, how to throw the ball to second, block balls, and I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, your hitting was legendary. You had the reputation of being one of the best bad ball hitters in the game. I once saw you hit a home run into the right field seats at Yankee Stadium. I swear the pitch was just an inch off the ground. How come you were such a good bad ball hitter?
Well, the one thing, Don, I saw the ball good. If I didn't see it good, I wouldn't swing at it. But if I saw the ball good, it looked good to me. I don't know where it was. I just hit it. It could be a high ball. I'd leave it go the first pitch. You throw it there again, I'll swing at it.
Yogi, you spent some time in New London, Connecticut. What do you remember about those days?
Oh, New London. I was there with Jim Gleason, Joe Glenn, the old Yankee catcher. Gene Thompson used to pitch for Cincinnati. Walter Masterson pitched for Washington. We were at New London submarine base there.
And then, of course, you came back to Connecticut, and you come back periodically to golf in the Celebrity Pro-Am of the GHO. Do you have fun doing that?
Oh, I really do, and I'll be there this year. If I'm still around, I'll be there.
How come you golf right-handed but bat left-handed?
Well, that I don't know, because I can't hit a golf ball for it like that.
Yogi, the game certainly has changed from when you played. Those must have been great days, the friendships, the playing in just a small amount of cities. Talk about those days.
Well, we did have a lot of fun. We traveled by train then, and we had a lot of fun. We were very close-knit, all of us. We were very close. We played cards on the train. We ate together, and the game has changed a little bit as the AstroTurf. I think that it changed the game a little bit there. And then you got the DH now, and that changed it around a little bit.
Did you ever think that you would see a player make $10 million a year?
I don't blame him, Don. If I was playing, I'll ask for the same thing. I blame the owners. They started it. They got to finish it now.
What was the most you ever made in a season?
65.
65,000. That's unbelievable. Yogi, can you imagine back in your day, one of the reasons the guys played so hard was you needed that World Series money, right?
Well, that's true, yeah. Our first World Series, like in 47, we only got $4,900.
Oh, my goodness. Some of the Yankees today, do you still keep in touch with them?
I see Hank Barr, Moose Garn, Gil McDougall is up here, Johnny Cooks, I see Phil Rizzuto. We run into each other, at these golf tournaments. Yeah. We run into each other.
Phil Rizzuto in these parts has a big following. How's the Scooter doing?
Very good. I think he's down in Florida with his family down there. He's got his son down there in Florida.
Uh-huh. And how about Whitey Ford? How's he?
Whitey's in Florida. He goes down there in the winter, and I'll be with him. We're going to Pebble Beach at the end of January.
Mm-hmm. All right. Whitey, talk a bit about him as a pitcher, because he had a reputation occasionally of perhaps nicking that baseball to make it do some things.
I never caught him then when he nicked the ball. I really didn't. A lot of guys say he did it, but with me, he never did it. That I know.
No
I caught
kidding.
him enough. I don't know, when he got older, maybe he did it.
Yeah. Well, where did he get that reputation, Yogi?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Whitey had good control. He could throw his curveball over on 3 balls and no strike and get it over. He had good control of his curveball.
Okay, and I'm glad you brought that up, Yogi, because it seems today the pitchers don't have control the way they did in the old days. It seems just about every count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Why is that?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you that then. I know they don't throw many curveballs. I think a guy could get a curveball over in a big league could win.
Yeah.
They throw a lot of sliders today. I guess it's an easier pitch to throw.
Mm-hmm. Yogi, with all the expansion taking place, and we have 2 more teams coming into the game this year, you think there's enough talent to handle 30 teams?
Well, you got to have 25 guys. No, I don't think they have, but they got to play with 25. I said, I don't even want to look at the roster till the season starts then, because I don't know who's playing on those teams.
Do you still
keep changing?
Yeah, I know. Do you still follow the game?
Oh, sure, I follow it. I watch the Yankees, the Mets. You get 3 games sometimes in one day.
Yeah, that's right. You do get a lot of games on cable television. Yogi, do you miss not being part of the everyday activity of the game?
No, I did it first, but not now. I enjoy what I'm doing. I have a lot of fun. I'm with my son in the business, the LTD Enterprises in Whippany, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they got Yogi Berra Stadium going up here in Montclair State. And then I got my golf tournament here for the Boy Scout, and I help out in the museum. Hey, listen, I'd like to give you the phone number of our place, LTD Enterprises.
Go ahead.
1-800-454-YOGI.
1-800-454-YOGI?
Yep.
What does LTD Enterprises do, Yogi?
Well, we send all the memorabilia stuff, hats, jerseys, my bats. I put on it ain't over till it's over, or plain bat with Yogi, the model I used when I played, jerseys and everything, and even T-shirts, golf shirts, golf hats. We got everything.
Oh, man, I've got to get a Yogi Berra golf hat. Yogi, what size bat did you use when you played?
I used 35-35.
35-35. Mm-hmm. What do the players use today? About the same size or a bit smaller?
I think they use a lot of small bats today. They use 31 ounces or 32 ounces a lot, and 34 inches or 33 inches. I think maybe everybody wants to hit home runs.
People want to know, you mentioned you have T-shirts, it isn't over until it's over. Did you say half of the things they said you said?
Most of them. Actually, I got a book coming out. It'll be coming out in the middle of March, all my yogiisms.
You do?
Yep.
Where did you say it's never over until it's over? When did that start?
Well, I did that when I managed in 73, and the New York Mets, the writers come in and ask, we had to play our teams in our division. And we had to beat them to get there. And I said, it's not over until it's over, because we're only about 4 or 5 games out. And we had to play our teams in our division, and I told the writers, it's not over till it's over.
And, when you look back, the year you managed the Yankees in 1964, you were, 6 games out, and then you made a charge the last month of the season.
That's right. Well, we were the same way with the Mets, too, when we did that.
Yeah, that year with the Mets, you were in last place with 6 weeks to go. Yeah, that was great. Yogi, a couple of more questions before we let you go. You're one of the few people who had the chance to manage both and play with Mickey Mantle, and then you managed Willie Mays. But in his prime, what kind of a player was Mickey Mantle?
Mickey had 2 good legs. You never know how good he could have been. The best I saw, was DiMaggio, but if Mickey had 2 good legs, no telling how good he got. But DiMaggio was the best I've seen. Willie Mays was great, but we never got to see him that often. He was in the National League, but I know what Joe could do.
Yeah. Yogi, could you give us that 800 number one more time?
1-800-454-YOGI.
Okay, and hopefully people will give it a call. Yogi, thank you very much for spending some time.
Tomorrow, not today.
Okay, we'll tell them to call tomorrow. It's New Year's Day. You need the day off.
Right.
Hey, Yogi, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year.
Same to you, Dane.
Take care.
Right.
All right, Yogi Berra, my man. Hey, I want a Yogi Berra golf hat. And if he's got a golf shirt, I want a Yogi Berra golf shirt, too. And as far as this interview, it's never over until it's over, but it's over. And we want to thank Yogi very much. In 1973, I had the chance to interview Yogi Berra in April of that season when he was a manager with the New York Mets. I was just a nervous teenager, but a radio station at which I was an intern happened to be on the New York Mets radio station network, and the Mets had what was known as Affiliates Day. You had the chance to go down to Shea Stadium before a game and interview the players and the managers and whoever was available for an interview. So here was my interview with Yogi Berra in April of 1973.
With me here is the manager of the New York Mets, Yogi Berra. Well, Yogi, the Mets have won their first 5 out of 7, and it appears that the team is shaping up.
Well, we sure hope so, Don. They've played good ball. Our pitching's been good. I like to see our hitting improve a little bit better, but it seems like we get them all in one inning, then we stop.
How about this Harry Parker? He pitched for the Mets against Philadelphia on Sunday.
He pitched a very good game for us Sunday. He's a good kid, and he had good stuff, and we hope he continues it.
Yogi, Tom Seaver naturally has been up to Tom Seaver form, but how about Jerry Koosman? Last week he pitched in St. Louis, and he appeared to have turned in 7 impressive innings.
He did for us. He'll be pitching Wednesday here, Thursday, one of the doubleheaders. So it's pretty tough to get everybody in. Matt Like now, see, this is his 3rd start out of 7 games. It'll be Matt Like's start out of 8 games, and we got these off days in April. It's pretty tough to pitch them all.
Yogi, you mentioned hitting and how the Met hitting is not up to par as of yet, especially Rusty Staub. I'm sure it'll improve.
Well, we hope so. We know he's a better hitter than he's showing, and I think he'll come along.
And I'm sure one of the big questions about the New York Mets is Willie Mays and how often Willie will play.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He was feeling good, real good, and he hurt his arm the other night. Also, he's been having trouble with his tooth. He's got a bridge there. He got infected there, and it swelled up his face. And he's been to the dentist now, and he's got it drained and everything. They recommend not to play him, because you move your head there, and it's pretty tough. And but I got him available for pinch hitting, though.
Well, Yogi Berra, I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time out, talking with me, and success in 1973 for the Mets.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you are. My interviews with Yogi Berra, number 8. 8 days until spring training. As always, thanks for listening and watching Baseball Discourse. I'm Dan Lovallo.